Dear citizens, today on 7th May 2025, Operation Sindoor targeted many terrorist areas and destroyed their camps. It was understood to be a necessary action because over the years, this terrorism industry is being wrongly used by certain people to destabilize the economic progress, to destabilize the zone, and to destabilize the peace in the zone. It is very unfortunate that Pakistan, after its partition, has been wrongly used by many countries and got used also. And in the process, their entire structure has become terrorism supporting, which is very, very sad. Unfortunately, the weapon arrival in Pakistan in huge quantity has certainly destabilized Pakistan itself and the people there. Indians do understand that Pakistani people are unfortunately trapped in bad regimes, and they are unfortunately facing all the crisis because of mismanagement and this hate India politics which has been promoted by the Pakistani leaders to divert the people's mind from all the mismanagement they are doing in the country. Unfortunately, many other outside countries for geopolitical reasons have also been using this. Many foreign ministers have been heard quoting the same. So taking this point into consideration, the 7th May becomes very important. In Pahalgam, many innocent people were killed, and today on 7th May, the conflict has intensified after stopping political relations by this Operation Sindoor. This is very important to understand because it is for South Asian security area and for the regional peace and prosperity, which is unfortunately disturbed in Bangladesh. Some things have been disturbed in Sri Lanka earlier. Even Nepal has faced a lot of disturbances, and now Pakistan and many other countries. It is very unfortunate for human civilization that these leaders have not used the wisdom to look forward to peace and progress in a different directions. Yes, sometimes decisive decision has to be taken, and probably that is why the Indian leaders have taken decisive action this time. Coming to the point, if we will go ahead, we will find that this Operation Sindoor, which has been initiated on May 7th, India has conducted air and missile strike on 9 locations in Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir, targeting terrorist infrastructure to link to Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. Unfortunately, all these organizations are being funded to create terror activities, to create fear, to gain power. If somebody can see through, many scrupulous mind, many manipulative people are behind using the young blood wrongly, and they are using these young blood wrongly for terrorist activities. They are not providing them employment, they are not providing them progress. As a result, they are full of energy and aggressive, and this aggression is being diverted towards terrorism. That's exactly the process. So if we look back, this Operation Sindoor is to discourage such activities, and it has been happening, and we should get to stop this. But more important than these operations is the self-realization of the youth to identify who are the main scrupulous planners, conspirators, and they themselves should check themselves from going into the suicidal path. Nevertheless, coming down to ongoing border clashes, regularly for past few days there have been regular border clashes. Firing from both sides unfortunately started from Pakistan and being retaliated by the Indian troops as well. The water dispute has come up because India has realized that the water they allow, these people have been taking it for things for granted. They are not understanding. Earlier, even after deciding a slotted amount, India was kind enough to release all the water they could without stopping even the stipulated amount to show good peaceful gesture. But on the grounds, people kept creating illusions, and it is now to force the Pakistani government to stop this. Remember, US at one point of time to get Osama bin Laden had to literally get after these Pakistani people to get their hidden terrorists from there. This is a psychology. Terrorism is a thought process, it's a psychological thought process where people develop hatred, and they develop so much hatred within themselves that they think only of destructions, and they do not give second consideration to innocent people. It is very unfortunate, but it is true. Now, Indus Water Treaty suspension on April 23, 2025, India suspended the 1960 Indus Water Treaty, and a reduction of up to 90% in Chenab River water supply was reported. And Pakistan realized that if this happens for a long period of time, then Pakistan would have to correct either their measures or go for war. Unfortunately, this is to be taken positively. Pakistan has to take action. They should take action against the people who are wrongly creating this terror environment. Now, implications for regional stability. Of course, the regional area is getting unstable because of these kind of activities. If the war comes forward, it will certainly destroy Pakistan, but it will also disturb India to a certain extent. Pakistan is a small country with tight economical resources. Even if few countries would like to support it, fortunately for India, many more countries are there, and this thing would become a serious problem for them more than in India. So it is very important that the Pakistani leaders, of course Indian leaders also, should be accommodative, but Pakistani leaders need to be wise and not be aggressive and foolish for the sake of their own people, not for the sake of the war or for the sake of battle. This is my belief. They should be wise, they should sit down, they should understand, yes, certain terrorist organizations are there, and they should work to make their people more prosperous, enjoy their economy, develop better ties, and settle down with a wonderful economical development. Note, this is the same land where once Harappan civilization existed and it was destroyed to zero. So it should not happen again, not happen again, not happen again. Only the wisdom of Pakistani leaders comes instrumental here. Their wiseness to understand that the act in Pahalgam was wrong, and this retaliation is natural to send a strong message across, because unfortunately this terror industry would be very, very harmful for every people. Few political leaders, they act wrongly, they destroy civilizations. They destroy human civilization, and I'm sure if the political leaders today do not wake up to the call, they will land up in their own judgment of aggression either ways to create a huge, huge loss for this lovely progress which we have created in our Indian subcontinent. Nevertheless, coming to the other point, if you see the diplomatic and economic retaliations, Indian measures where they expelled the Indian Pakistani diplomats, closed borders and trade routes, withdrew from historic treaties. They said, okay, no more treaty when you don't believe in a friendship, so there is no treaty also, no agreement. Similarly, Pakistan's counteraction was the suspended Shimla agreement, which is very, very, by many diplomats it is taken as a very funny measure, because Shimla agreement was more a compromise from India. Next, closed airspace and border crossings. implemented trade restrictions and military alertness. This is affected on civilians because we now live in certain amount of tensions, because if our leaders are going to take any action, they may say so with the emotions, but emotion does not reign progress, prosperity and life. Emotions are secondary, intelligence should be taken as first, and this is what all the leaders need to understand. Next, civilian casualties, economic disruptions, increased insecurity, all these things are coming up. Nevertheless, coming to the other point, the historical context of the conflict is that we have been having war with them. 1947 partition and war, yes. Immediately after the creation, the Bangash Pathan and the army, the Pakistan army got into action to deliberately usurp Kashmir, which was earlier a free state, with the Raja Hari Singh ruling there. And unfortunately, when their action was aggressive, attacking, the Raja took the help of India, and India, for the geopolitical reasons, came to their help, and thereafter Kashmir became a part of India. So this is something which had happened in 1947, after which UN ceasefire had stopped the war. Then in 1965 and 1971, we have had two wars. Once in 1965, immediately after Chinese aggression, there was a Kashmir war, which ended in what we call as Tashkent Agreement. And in 1971, we went on to the Bangladeshi war, where General Niazi surrendered to General Jagjit Singh Arora sir. Nevertheless, 1999, when India was making good attempts to start good ties with the Lahore Bus Yatra, General Pervez Musharraf, desirous of rule, came forward and utilized the opportunity to stab from the back in the Kargil war, and thus destroyed their diplomatic things. It is very important to identify here, where is the wisdom? When one of the leaders of your country in Pakistan is coming forward for peaceful negotiation, and the other is hitting back, what are we doing? If two neighboring people sitting in two different houses fight even in their houses, it is disturbing. And we have destroyed ourselves, whether it has been done by instigation of others, but where is our wisdom? It is very important for people to realize this. It is time for the Pakistani people to really realize that the leaders are using emotions and aggressions wrongly, and using that small little support coming from indirect resources, hidden sources, wrongly. And one has to understand that all the prosperous people from their country have landed up to other countries and staying there. So what are we losing? We are losing citizens, we are losing peace, we are losing progress. That applies to Pakistan mainly, but India on the long run has been able to sustain its peace because we are not abetting terrorism, we are not on the negative side, we are working positively. So it's a very important lesson for the Pakistani people to realize, and of course for all the political leaders to understand that peace needs to be restored as quickly as possible. When we come down, what can be the solutions? I feel re-engaging in dialogue, and this time proper dialogues, not impractical decisions or impractical discussions. You know, many a time when a person feels subdued, they become more aggressive. They do not realize their gross realities, they do not realize their gross economical conditions, and all they have bloated egos and bloated aggression, which not only imperils them but also imperils their citizens, which is unfortunate. So we need to re-engage in the dialogue, we need to understand, and we have to create better frameworks, revive them, the Lahore Declaration, the Shimla Agreement, and all the bilateral issues needs to be addressed. Now look at the Kashmir people, very difficult, after a long period of time, Kashmir was again made a heaven for the tourist industry. And the easiest stab in the back was terrorism. And that's exactly what has happened, and the Kashmiri people have again gone into bad conditions. Suddenly, where they were booming with industry, they were having prosperity coming back, knocking at the doors, we find that a terrorist act of Pahalgam has put them behind. Very unfortunate. The trust which was built has been lost now for many months, maybe few years. We need to also go for third party maybe, but I feel in the third party mediation it has always been found that often the third party plays foul. That is why India has always been talking about bilateral agreement, understanding each other. But for that, wisdom has to reign supreme. Then we come down to confidence building. We need to develop. We should have better cultural ties. We should play sports. We used to play earlier. And we should not play as an opposition. We should play as neighbors. But unfortunately, every time a Pakistan-India match comes in, everybody tends to cheer up as if two enemies are fighting. Don't we see that, we Indians or Pakistanis, that we are made to fight each other? Time we realize that. Coming down to the other part, what are the way we can do collaborations? We should do joint counter-terrorism act. We should work together to kill the terrorism and dismantle these militant networks. Yes, it was promoted earlier. Yes, it was sponsored earlier. Nevertheless, the time is gone. We need to correct ourselves as for the time. And we should prevent cross-border terrorism, certainly. Yes, it will affect certain economical equations, but we should be foresighted in our approach. Now we come down to economic cooperation. Building economic cooperation, promoting the people's progress is one of the best course to develop not only better ties, but also improve our relations. Coming down to the long-term stability, it is very important that we make our security and economical strategies which are supportive, sustainable, and very, very supportive to each other, a symbiotic relation. That is very important. Last, I would like to conclude that if we really want to navigate a complex path to peace, we have to control our emotions, we have to keep our wisdom high. And for this, we should understand the historical complexity, we should identify the factors behind this historical complication. Yes, India and Pakistan are two different countries. India and Pakistan was created on a two-nation policy. Again, it was one of those proposals by the British, if you rightly remember, the June plan. And thereafter, the misadministration, the maladministration, the mismanagement of the situation to create two different nations, yet complicate them, is the worst reason for all this problem. Today, neither we are a proper Hindu Rashtra, neither they are a complete Islamic country, and India has become secular, and India has to accept that their secular state is a reality. They'll have to go by it. And any kind of instigation from outside should not affect them secularity at all, because we already have a huge number of people from the other religion. Nevertheless, we should be committed to sustained diplomacy. We should go for long-term dialogue, do engagements of understanding. Thing will take time, but yes, this approach should be fine. It should be well documented. It should become the principle of every negotiation to happen in the future as well. We should also foster trust and cooperation, develop and support each other. We should not forget that Germany also united. We should not forget that India and Pakistan were one country before. But for all these things to happen as a good dream, it is only possible if we understand, we respect each other's religion, we do not belittle each other's religion, because religion is nothing but a symbolical warfare. So if we understand that both our religions are good, Hindus should be respected, as well as Islam deserves respect, we need to work in a symbiotic manner. Just an approach, just a thought, and of course this topic is for many of you attempting to go across in the SSB, where they would be asked to speak on this issue. So here it is, a gift to you all. Thank you very much. A thought. Hope you like my thoughts. Hope you utilize this thought in addressing the issue when you are asked to. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.